Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Shonda Orlesia, and we are here and we are live on Inspire Talk. We are back on Friday. So I am so happy to be back. Today is the first show back. So just to catch you guys up on what's going on. I had stopped having shows due to the fact that we were in Chicago for this year's Power Self Love Retreat. You guys, let me explain something to you. This retreat was phenomenal. It was truly transformational and it was transformation. I am truly so excited. It was amazing. It was awesome. You had to be there. We changed lives. Um, the award recipients was happy and it was truly amazing, but we're not going to get too deep into that because I'm so excited about tonight's show. We are going into healing moments. That's what I titled it, healing moments, because we have a special guest today and I'm calling her my good girlfriend. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a good girlfriend chat. So I am not going to prolong this any further. I'm going to bring my good girlfriend. She specializes in mental health. She does counseling. She does coaching. She's a speaker, motivational speaker. I mean, just put it all in the category. She's everything. So she's the bomb.com. So I'm going to bring my good girlfriend up, Miss Sherri Wick.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
friend. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am amazing. Like I told you, heard me in the intro. I am so excited about today's show because, like I said, I get to talk to my good girlfriend about some stuff.
Yes.
Yes. So for those that don't know you, everybody know how I do. For those that don't know you, please go ahead and let them know a little bit about you, Miss Sherry.
Thank you for this time. Those that are listening, I am Sherri S. Wick. I am a visionary. I am full of energy, full of life, and I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor. And what that means is I support
Mhm.
people to receive the resources and tools
Mhm.
in order to ensure
Mhm.
that they're healthy. And so
Okay.
I was slow to say that because it's very important that people hear there's intentionality in what I'm sharing because mental
Mhm.
health is such a stigma still. I
Mhm.
want people to understand that when myself and my team, when we're
Mhm.
supporting people along the way, we are sharing resources, we're sharing homework, we're asking them to do the very difficult work, but you have
Mhm.
someone to walk alongside you
Right.
outside of being a clinician. I am a speaker. So I was very grateful that you shared that. I believe in empowering rooms. I
Mhm.
have this belief that we can redefine what it means to be well. We all
Right.
can redefine what it means to be well. And I
Mhm.
believe that my voice, me showing up in spaces, can create that type of energy, type of change, for
Mhm.
empowerment. I'm a clinical supervisor, so I'm able to supervise interns and then also staff. But the most important piece of who I am is and I have to share that I'm a believer in God. I love
Amen.
God. He has allowed me
Yes.
to do these things, and so I definitely want to say that that's the most important. And I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a dog mom. Right. I'm a daughter. Um,
Okay.
I'm I'm those things. Right. I'm those
I'm
things.
see that's what I'm saying. That house and the wife and outside of our busy life, a lot of people don't know how we try to have our careers and have our home life. How do you
Absolutely.
balance that?
I don't. I, I
Okay.
don't. I don't.
Okay.
I don't balance it. And let me say why I don't balance it. Balance
Mhm.
means that I have this equal amount of
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
energy,
Mhm.
space
Mhm.
to take care of them both. So I'm holding my hands up, right? When you think
Okay.
about a scale, like I have two scales in my hand and you're placing those
Mhm.
things. I don't balance. What I do is I integrate because
Mm.
require me to really run myself down because then I
Okay.
figure out, okay, how much time have I spent with my son? How much time have I spent with my husband?
Mm.
So we're talking about quality over quantity or quantity over quality, right? When
Okay.
I want to spend with my people, right? When
Mhm.
I spend time with people, it is about quality.
Oh, that's
What have
important.
they received from me? What have I received from them? How have I poured into them? How have they poured into me? That
Mhm.
can be a 7-minute conversation.
Mm.
Have you ever had those type of conversations where someone just drops something and it just ignites you? That
Mhm.
can outweigh we've spent 2 hours together and we haven't been talking about anything except maybe social media and scrolling.
Mm.
So I don't balance, I integrate. And so one of the things that helps me is
Mhm.
the 8 dimensions of wellness. This is what I use. This is what I use in my space with therapists, right? As a
Mhm.
therapist, space with
Mhm.
clients. That's what my business and I would say also my brand is built from using the 8 dimensions of wellness, where it's not about balancing. It's about, do you even recognize where you are in the 8 dimensions? Do
Mm.
you recognize that, wow, your financial wellness has been lacking, one of the 8 dimensions? My goodness, I have not checked my bank statement. I have not checked my bank account. So you don't really know what's going on from a financial standpoint,
No,
right?
you don't. You don't.
You don't. You have no idea because you're and in that creates this. So why haven't you? Well, actually, I don't have the tools to be able to understand my banking, the way I buy, right? Like, so when you talk about how do I manage, it's more of integration. I look at all of those 8 dimensions and I
Mhm.
notice what haven't I touched on or what needs more of me,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And so that helps me because that to me is this like, oh, I recognize here's some lack. And then I recognize here's how I can pour into this area. But
Mm.
it's
Okay.
never going to be perfect 100%. It's just never
Right.
because right my son who needs help with homework, that draws something else out of me, right? And so I'm
Mhm.
able to devote all my time there, but then later on I'm able to devote all my time. So I'm not like having these baskets of things like, hey, I'm spending 7 minutes here, I'm spending 15 minutes here, I'm spending 30 minutes here. Is
Mhm.
what do people need in that moment, in that time? And are they getting
Mhm.
quality from me? Do they see that I'm present? I can't be present if I'm thinking about having my hands on all these baskets. That was a
Wow.
long way to answer your question, but I don't balance, I
No,
integrate. I
I
integrate.
and I appreciate that because a lot of people like see I hear you talking and I heard exactly everything you were saying, but see at the same time, like you said, your hands and you're doing and you're integrating. What I'm doing is I'm pretty much letting everybody know we're on, tune
Yep.
in because
Yep.
they need this.
Yes.
And I try to do that a lot in my everyday life. Like I go to work in the morning. I
Hmm.
literally work maybe 4, 5 hours a day.
Hmm.
Once I do that, I have to, like you said, put my hands on this and put my hands on that. Like I got my grandkids. That's why I kept asking you, do you hear anything in my background? Because my
Hmm.
grandkids are here.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So I have to, they want to come to me, Grandma, what's this? Or Grandma, what's
Hmm.
that? And then
Hmm.
I have my husband, babe, what we doing this?
Hmm.
You gonna eat for
Hmm.
dinner? So
Yep.
it's like, and I appreciate that because now I understand because
Absolutely.
you were saying there is no like balance
Mm-mm.
because
There would
you
be this
put your hand
equal.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Which what I love and what you said is I'm aware I have these things and I'm not going to pressure myself to try to
Mm-hmm.
equal everything out to make sure. Because guess what? You may have one grandkid that they just want snuggle time for 5 minutes, right? And that's enough, right? I think about my son.
Mm-hmm.
He tells me his limit. Okay, you hugging me too long, mom. You hugging me too long, right? But if I was to sit here and force this balance,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now I'm creating discomfort in him because I'm forcing upon him. Well, no, I got to hug you for 23 minutes for me to feel. And for those that are listening, by no means am I saying that I think I don't like to operate in the extremes, never and always. For some
Mm,
people, you may have figured out your balance.
right.
Let me say that. For some people, you may have figured out your balance. It also could just be a word thing, right? Where I value integration because integration gives me room for when I make a mistake where I hadn't spent the time that I wanted to because this thing, right, took
Mm-hmm.
precedent over that. But that gives me grace. If I operate from the word of balance, that wouldn't give me grace. That would make me think over and over again, oh my gosh, I didn't put that time in. Oh my gosh, what kind of mom am I? Oh my gosh, what kind of husband wife am I? I don't want that
Mm-hmm.
internal dialogue because it doesn't serve me. And so, if
Mm-hmm.
there are people that are out there listening, you value the word balance, that's great. For me, I value the word integration because it gives more room for grace and compassion and freedom, and I can flow through that. And that's what I love being able to do. So all the things, because I have my mindset, because I have this operating system of integration, I'm not trying to have anything equal out. I just need to know, oh yep, I touched on my spiritual wellness, right? That's what I do
Right.
every morning.
Right.
That's how I start my day. Oh, yep, that's right. I did my social wellness, right? I connected with that person I hadn't connected with in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual wellness. I'm listening to podcasts, I'm listening to TV shows, I'm reading books, right?
Mm-hmm.
That 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 stimulate my mind. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the 8 dimensions of wellness, touching on financial wellness, my space, the occupational wellness. Like those are the things that I feel like, oh, yep, I spent time here and I feel great. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
need any more of me right now because that's
Mm-hmm.
full.
Okay.
That feels more manageable.
Yeah.
Really, it
Mm-hmm.
does. It feels more manageable, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I utilize my day. People talk about you have
Okay.
24 hours in a day. I can utilize my day. I
See,
can utilize my day.
and that's what I need to do because sometimes me myself, I feel like I don't put my hands on everything because it's like, okay, I know I put my hands on the radio station. I know I do that. I know I put my hands on the sneaker ball I got coming up. So, but it feels like other things get lacked. And
Mhm.
I try to figure out, okay, what is it that I need to do to kind of put my hand on everything. Go ahead. I see you right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
because here's I love that question. What is it that I need to do? Right?
Mhm.
And my question that I want to ask is
Mhm.
where are you in
Mhm.
those things? And
Mm.
how much energy do you put towards you? When we focus our energy on
Mhm.
our health, on our mental, emotional, spiritual health,
Mhm.
it truly unlocks the things that you need to do. Let me give an example. When
Okay.
you have spent time, so say you meditate. Do you meditate?
Yes. I
So
meditate. I
when
pray. Yep. I do all that
so
good
when
stuff.
you pray and meditate and you
Mhm.
devote that time, so say you are you a morning person? Do you thrive in the morning or do you thrive at night?
I'm a thriver in the morning, so I'm up
Thrive in the
literally
morning.
about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
And that's when it's quiet. I relate. That's when it's quiet. You don't hear anything.
Yes.
You hear some
Nothing.
crickets outside, but otherwise you don't hear
Mhm.
anything. Okay.
At all.
So
Mhm.
you thrive in the morning. So you're 4:30 in the morning. You have spent, let's just say, whatever time, you put the time in, right? Whatever time that
Mhm.
is,
Mhm.
and you have been in it, in whatever you're praying over, in whatever you're meditating over, you are possibly even giving gratitude. I'm really big
Mhm.
on gratitude. It does change the brain
It
because,
does.
but we'll talk about that later. But when you're doing that, you are literally regulating your body
Mhm.
so that the energy that's in your body, the body that's regulated, can then withstand and endure and have clarity in whatever your tasks are. You are more
Mm.
clear when you meditate. And for those that
Mhm.
maybe you don't pray, but if you meditate and sit in silence, you're
Mhm.
giving your body space to reset, recenter, and prepare. You're
Mm,
not
okay.
weighing it down or bogging it down when you do
Mm,
that.
okay. Okay. So let me ask a question. Let me ask a
Yes,
question.
yes.
What is, because a lot of people, and a lot of people I know, they think that meditation and
Mm.
prayer are the same.
Mm. Can I?
How can
Mhm,
you define?
mhm.
Come on, wait, because look at your face. You ready?
Yeah.
Come
Ooh,
on,
ooh.
come on, come
I
on.
love
Separate
that.
the two for us.
So let's
Separate
and I'm
the
gonna
two for
even
us.
let's throw in mindfulness. Let's throw in
Mm,
mindfulness too, because
okay,
those are all mixed in.
girl,
Okay.
look at me taking notes. I'm
Let's
taking notes.
wait.
Come on.
Okay. So let's start with meditation.
Mhm.
Meditation is the behavior, it is the
Mhm.
action, it is the
Mhm.
thing that you're doing. I am meditating on this devotional.
Mm.
I am I am tuning other things out for the most part
Mhm.
as best as you can, right? And
Mhm.
after
Mhm.
years and years of practice, you can begin to tune, like really tune out. You can have loud noise in the back and then not even hear it because you have focused the body,
Mhm.
programmed your body to be one or be angled or aligned with that thing that you're meditating on. So say that
Okay.
devotional. So you want to think of meditation as that thing that you're doing, reading, repeating.
Mhm.
Praying is whomever you're praying to. So I pray to God. I pray right to the Trinity, right? So I am praying, right, right. Okay, so we pray to the Trinity, and I am focusing my meditation. My action is focusing. That's the action, which is
Mhm.
meditation
Mhm.
on my prayer. I'm being
Mm.
intentional in what I'm praying. I'm bringing
Mhm.
in possibly scripture, right? I am bringing right in gratitude. That's my prayer. I am giving thanks. I'm giving honor. I'm praying for others, right? That's the part of my prayer.
Right. 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 Right.
Mindfulness is the ability to be present in a non judgmental way. It's being mindful of my
Mm.
thoughts. So when I describe balance, balance
Mhm.
creates anxiety. That word, when we talk about how do I balance, oh, I don't do that. So I'm
Mhm.
mindful of the word that helps me to thrive, which is integration. Why? Because integration creates compassion and grace. That's mindfulness. So the
Okay.
example is you're mindful that your morning time you thrive. You know that
Mhm.
that's your peak time, and so
Mhm.
you're mindful not to schedule a workout. That's
Mm.
mindfulness. The
Okay.
ability to be aware, be in the moment, be intentional, be present. That's mindfulness. Meditation is I am meditating on the word. I am reading
Okay.
the word. I'm letting it sink in. I'm letting it feed me. I'm asking questions in my prayer, right?
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
writing down some points that stood out to me. And
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
prayer is that actual, like you and your conversation with God.
Mm.
Tell me
Mm.
your I see your wheels. I see the wheels. I see the wheels. What's the
That-
follow-up? What's the
be-
question? What's the thought? Tell me, talk to me.
because you said something and that kind of that hit. So meditation is the action.
Mhm,
Mindfulness is pretty much like you said, not scheduling, knowing exactly you're being in the moment.
mhm.
And
Being
then
present
your
right in the moment.
right, and then the prayer is pretty much what you're praying, asking God, and then when you meditate on what you ask God, you're asking questions in that moment. Come on,
That's right.
see, I got it. Look at that.
And
See,
and
you learned something.
that's the shorten, right? Like
Mhm.
that's the shorten of it. That's the way that I am able to help people understand
Mhm.
you don't have to be what maybe you think meditation and mindfulness looks like. You don't
Right.
Some people have a visual that pops up. I
Mhm.
visualize me just standing there and I've shut everything out and all those
Mhm.
that can be a goal. That can be a
Mhm.
goal, but
Mhm. Mhm.
that's not the thing.
Mhm.
Let's give a basic foundation so we can start, because I want people to understand that once you start, then going back to what you
Mhm.
said, you'll have your hand in the thing, right? Say you have your
Right.
hand on the radio station, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And and you're in tune and connected. so that
Right.
you can finish what you need to finish. And then you have your hand.
Mhm.
Oftentimes we have our hands on everything and we're not utilizing our fullest potential. We're not.
Mm.
We're not because and I said it earlier, I feel unlocked. There are quite literally in my brain, I know I have
Mhm.
allowed access to parts of my brain that haven't been accessed. Why?
Okay.
My
Mhm.
meditation, my prayer game, my morning time, it's on lock. I do nothing. I don't do anything that's not that. If that's clear, y'all.
Yeah. Mhm.
I did that first,
Mhm.
and then I do everything else. Because to me,
Mm.
that has been what has allowed me to do what I've been doing and to
Mhm.
do it in a way where I'm taking care of myself and my spirit. We have so much potential in us. We
Yeah.
do. We do.
Mhm. Mhm.
What happens is we don't have the tools sometimes and often resources, but even just tools,
Mhm.
right? Your radio show is a tool. It's an
Okay.
empowerment mechanism, but you're bringing in people who are giving these tangible exercises for you to practice. Here's the
Mhm.
thing, you have to practice for a while,
Yeah.
right? I've been in the
Yeah.
field now over a decade, more than over a decade.
Okay.
And truly, it has been the last few years where I understand, oh, my morning time is a non-negotiable. It's
Mm.
a non-negotiable because I know what happens when I do it and when I don't. And it's clear.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay.
It's clear. So
Right,
as
because like you
yeah,
said,
go ahead.
that morning time is that silent time
Yeah.
where you actually can just sit in it.
Mhm.
And everything else, like you said, is still in the morning times. Like for me, my husband, I tell everybody I'm very transparent. So I talk about me before I talk about anybody else.
Mhm.
My husband leaves probably around anywhere between 4:30 and 6 o'clock. So at that time, once he gets done, it's like completely silent.
Mhm.
But sometimes my prayer time, I always make my prayer time between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. I could
Mhm.
be laying there still. It's pitch black in the room, and I could just be laying there still. I don't have to, because a lot of people, I know a lot of people when they pray out loud, but I pray mentally. And a
Mhm.
lot of
Yes.
people say, and a lot of people want to know is, well, ask me. And my granddaughter asked me, she said, Grandma, if you pray silent or pray to yourself in your head, can God hear you? And so I say, yeah. I say,
Come on, granddaughter.
yeah. I say, yeah. God can
Absolutely.
still hear. God can
Oh,
still hear
absolutely.
you. A lot of people, yes, they like to get in their space and they like to
Mhm.
pray out loud and
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
I'm one, I feel like, I pray out loud. And when I pray out loud, that means to me, I'm going into warfare if I'm praying out loud. But if I'm
Mm.
praying internally, I think for me, when I pray internally, it's like you said, I'm giving that gratitude.
Mhm. Oh,
I'm
yes.
I'm sitting in it and I'm like, God, thank you for this day. Thank you for covering my
Mhm.
family. Thank you for
Mhm.
covering those that are attached
Mhm.
to me. And these are
Mhm.
the things that I say in silence.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
when it's time, like you said, when it's time to go into that warfare and you got something, you gotta go to war, that's when I'll get in that space and you'll hear me. I might spit out a little tongue every
Mhm.
now and then.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But that I had to break that down to her and let her know, yes,
Sure.
God can still hear you even if you're saying it
Absolutely.
to yourself, and you're not speaking
Absolutely.
out loud. So yeah,
Absolutely. Oh,
oh,
I love that.
I love this conversation. Oh, I told y'all I've been waiting on this. My good girlfriend, Miss Sherri. I love it. So, okay, so you said, so I want to touch on your bio. So this is my other
Oh,
computer
yes.
over here. I
Yes,
want to
yes,
touch
yes.
on that just a little bit. Do
Okay.
you not? So you in your bio, you said you have unique gifts that lies in your ability to facilitate self-reflection and empower individual making mental healthy value aligned decisions that lead to personal and professional success. Can
Mm,
you touch on that?
yes. Oh, I love that. That's actually one of my favorite parts. And why is my favorite part is I have wondered what when I am showing up in this space, whatever space that
Mhm.
might be, individual session or speaking engagement, what is
Okay.
the piece that helps them make that change? Right?
Mm.
When you think about motivational speaking, you think that that is motivating to me to make the change. But it's
Okay.
not just the person's energy because that
Mhm.
stays with you. You think about, oh my gosh, that person was so engaging. But what is
Mhm.
the piece that creates the change? What is changing someone's behavior? And it is my ability to ask reflective questions that
Mhm.
draws them or drives them to
Mhm.
understanding values because our values form
Mhm.
our core beliefs.
Mhm.
Our core beliefs inform our values, right? It's this back and forth
Right.
that we operate out of.
Okay.
So if you have someone who values X, so give me something that you value. Give me,
Um, I value my now what I've been living for 2024. I value myself.
okay.
I focus on myself.
So this is great. So you value self.
Mhm.
And so if I'm in this space right now, and so I ask you, what does that look like? You would describe what that looks like, right? Which
Mhm.
requires
Mhm.
you to reflect. And I get to
Mhm.
then reflect back what I'm hearing. Okay.
Mhm.
But then I say, okay, great. Now what does that look like in your day to day? When you respond, everything from the initial response needs to be aligned with that value. And what happens is because we're not
Mm.
mindful and intentional, I say I value myself, but when I answer my question of what that looks like, I say, well, I wake up in the morning and I make my kids breakfast and I make my grandkids breakfast and I make sure my husband has what he needs. And then I go ahead and do the things that I need. No, that's not what
You
you
didn't value
that's
yourself.
that's not aligned with valuing yourself. Because
Wow.
when I value myself, that means I'm prioritizing myself.
Mhm.
And that means I'm taking care of myself first to be able to do those things. Oftentimes, we're misaligned. We say we value something, but our behavior does something different. And that
Ooh.
seems to be the mechanism that has been
Mhm.
helping people to change. I'll give another example. I
Ooh, you
spoke
teaching
at
today. You
I, I,
teaching today.
I spoke at an organization. It was an affinity group for a corporate company,
Mhm.
and I brought in the 8 dimensions of wellness. Right,
Mhm.
that's what I want people to understand. Right, there is this interdisciplinary intersectionality. We have so many things that creates life for us and helps us to live life and bring us to optimal living. Right, and
Okay.
so
Mhm.
they were in the space. Of course, you don't
Mhm.
really know. I'm gonna sign up for this. It sounds good, but I don't really know what it is. Right.
Right. Mhm.
I spoke, I did 8 dimensions of wellness. I came back the next year and she stayed after just to tell me this 8 dimensions of wellness. And what I talked
Mhm.
about was the missing link to the thing that I needed. I recognized that I wanted to live a better life,
Mhm.
right? But
Mhm.
I didn't know what that actually truly meant. I was doing the things, but doing
Mhm.
the things were doing things for other people. It wasn't
Mm.
doing to live a better life means I have to do right now the things that allows me to fully live,
Okay.
which produce this different behavior. So she set
Mm.
boundaries with the other people that do you see what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
value this, but my behavior has to show that. And once
Right.
we do it, we're creating this alignment, mind, body, spirit. My mind, my values, what I'm thinking, my values are, my physical body needs to be in alignment with it. So my spirit can thrive. You picking up what I'm
You
putting down. Are we
you
but
are
we operate in misalignment. We often do.
all the time. I'm a true witness. I'm a,
Me too.
let me raise my right hand. And I
Me,
tell everybody right
I'm gonna
hand to
raise
the
it with
man.
you. Me too.
Mm,
It's
mm, mm,
real.
mm. Yeah, it
Let,
is.
let, let me give it. Let me give a personal example. I I value. hmm, I'm going to say this. I value what I provide for my clients. The,
Okay.
the concepts, the way in which I operate, what I am bringing to the table.
Mhm. Mhm.
Why now
Mhm.
have I recognized, oh, I truly need to live this out? Truly. Now I value what I've been
Mhm.
saying,
Right.
but I've prioritized everyone else
All the time. I do it all the time.
all the time. So am I really valuing myself? Yes, I am, because I said it and I believe our words are true. I
Right.
believe when you speak, you either speak in truth or you speaking in lies.
Right.
I believe that that's what I valued. But
Mhm.
when I spoke it, the truth, my behavior didn't back it up. So now
Okay.
I am thinking my values and I'm living my values, which is why
Okay.
my morning time is my morning time. But here's what else I did.
Mhm.
I like gamification, like where you get like badges for things. Like I'm that person.
Okay.
If those out there selling apps, let me tell you something. There are people out there like me that love those badges where you get an award. So I got the Apple Watch, and
Mhm.
they have these like random like badges. If you work out for 10 minutes, you're going to get this cool, and it's all vibrant colors.
Right.
I love that
Right.
stuff. But what I've done is I've said, because I value myself and my well-being, because
Mhm.
I believe that God has given me a vessel. So I have to take care of this vessel. That's why I value
Mhm.
myself. I have to take care of this vessel that God has blessed me
Mhm.
with.
Mhm.
And the way in which I'm valuing that, the way in which that looks behaviorally
Mhm.
is I'm closing
Mhm.
my rings so I can get my badges, right? Closing my
Mhm.
rings means what? I'm working out, or I'm
Mhm.
stretching, I'm meditating, right? I'm watching what I eat. All of that is a
Mhm.
part of the 8 dimensions. So if I say I value myself, then I have
Mhm.
to prioritize myself. I have to pour into my cup. And my way, right? The
Mhm.
physical application of this knowledge is
Okay.
closing my rings. And let me also say something about that. I love when people are like, "Oh, I know these things." And I'm like, "That's
I ain't
wonderful."
gonna lie. I don't know
That's
them. I'm learning tonight.
that's that but some people are like, and I appreciate you saying that, because some people are learning. I am specifically talking about people who say, "Oh, I know all these things." That's knowledge. You can know a lot of information. Intelligence is applying that knowledge,
Ooh.
right? By
Ooh.
definition.
Okay. Come on.
So when I am talking with people, I'm like, it is wonderful that I appreciate, because you've done a lot of work then. You've done the preliminary work. But now we
Mhm.
got to continue with implementation. So now I need you to operate in intelligence. Take what you've learned, what you know, and now be intelligent with it. Actually apply it.
Okay.
But that's something that I ask folks. And then of course that's where I help folks understand that in between, like, okay, you know it, but why haven't you implemented it? And a lot of that
Mhm.
is like fear, you know, not having boundaries set, right? So
Mhm. Mhm.
when that self-reflection in my bio, that's what I'm talking about. I bring in these values and I help them
Mhm.
find that values gap. What is the gap that's not allowing them to transfer over into this implementation, into this behavioral change?
Right. Ooh. See, I'm learning. Thank you so much for that. So now I need to know what I say I value. I need to make sure that I actually do what I'm saying, because I said, when you asked me the question, what I say, I value self.
Mhm.
But like you said, do I actually take the time
Mhm. Mhm.
to actually take care of self to
Correct.
value it? I don't.
Correct. Correct. So then we just have to figure out, we then, and I appreciate your transparency. We then just have to figure out what would be supportive and for you to do that. And I am really big on not overwhelming people with content. I find that I
Mhm.
overwhelm people with my energy just because I
I
prefer
love it.
extroversion. And some people
I
prefer
love it.
introversion where,
Mhm.
after some of y'all that's out there, when you get off, when you hang up, when we done, you might have to recharge. But that's
Mhm.
just personality, and that's not a bad thing or anything.
Right.
But the piece that I like to say is, so what is it that you can put in place
Mhm.
to show you, right, that you're valuing yourself? And we're not going to do a lot. We're not going to do a lot
Mhm.
because it doesn't take a lot. I gave
Yeah.
the example of my morning time. So that's my time. But here,
Mhm.
let me be clear. I do not harm myself in words
Mhm.
if I didn't wake up at that time, right? My goal is to
Okay.
wake up at 5 o'clock. But here's what happens. Sometimes if my kiddo wakes up in the middle of the night, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to figure out how to recoup that time. So I might
That
stay in
you
the bed a
know.
little longer. But what does that still show? That I still value myself because I'm
Mhm.
not trying to be performative. Performative
Mm.
would look like, oh shoot, I said that I value myself. Sherri was on the call talking about something. If I don't value myself, that means I'm not getting up. No, 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 no. You know that you need that extra hour that you missed. So therefore, you are not going to perform that thing. You're going
Right.
to rest the body so that you're prepared for when you need to get up.
Mm.
Am I being clear on the difference there? We're
Yes, you are. Yes, you
valuing
are.
yourself is not turning into a robot. Oh, I said what I said. Now I got to live it
Mhm.
out. No, valuing yourself is saying, okay, hey, I have to figure out what I actually need.
Mhm.
And when those times happen where stuff happens, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You then valuing yourself is readjusting. And I do believe
Mm.
people forget that I get to pivot. That's valuing myself. I get to
Wow.
readjust
Mhm.
because I'm still at the end of it all prioritizing me.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. How do you, and I'm trying to put this in a way because a lot has happened throughout the course of the week for me. I'm told y'all I'm very transparent. Um, my sister lost her mom
Mm.
a couple days ago. Matter of fact, on Saturday, it was either Saturday or Sunday. In the same token, her son went into the hospital, stroke.
Oh,
He's fighting for his life.
mm.
So, how do you, in that sense,
Mhm. Mhm.
value yourself
Mhm. Mhm.
while you're grieving
Mhm.
and trying to take care of your
Mhm.
child?
Mhm.
How do
Mhm.
you do that? Because
Mm.
that's a lot, especially
It
on
is a
a person. That's a lot.
lot. Absolutely. That is a lot. So, first, you said something that's profound. How do you value yourself while grieving
Mhm.
and taking care of your child, right?
Mhm.
You're grieving.
Mhm.
Grief is healthy, grief is important, grief is a part of the journey. So that
Okay.
is already showing that you're valuing yourself. Let me even say it in a different way. To grieve means that you're creating space to feel what you feel, how you feel when you feel it.
Okay.
That's valuing yourself. Because what valuing yourself would what not valuing yourself looks like is suppressing those emotions. We oscillate. We os- I can talk to you
Mhm.
and enjoy our conversation, and then I can see a picture of someone who passed away this year and start crying. That's valuing myself because that's normal. That's a part of the
Wow.
process. That's healthy. Why? Because your body needed to respond. And you allow that to happen. What would it be valuing myself is I'm talking to you, I see that picture and I swallow. Ooh, I take a big gulp so I can push down. When we take those big gulps, because we feel our eyes watering and we feel that
Mhm.
tingling sensation in our body because we know we're
Mhm.
trying to stop crying. That's
Mhm.
depressing. Now, here's what's clear. Sometimes you might have to do it because maybe you're working in corporate America, and as a brown person, right, black and brown
Mhm. Yeah,
person,
yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
be
yeah.
right. But that was still valuing myself because I was able to see what's my risk, right?
Mhm.
Prioritizing yourself are is often doing the things that gives you the room to be human. Grief is human.
Okay. Okay. All right.
The next,
So I can
let me
let me
let me
let me go ahead and finish. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say the next is being able to say, I am going to take. So, first, I wanted to honor just the fact that you said grief because people really don't understand how important it is. Often, my experience has been people do not understand how important grief is, right? And in some communities, Black and Brown communities, it shows a weakness like, oh, just get over it or pray over it. And that's not what the body needs, nor is how the body was made, right?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
okay. The next is giving yourself room to take time out. So, before I go to the hospital to check on my son that is fighting for their life, I'm going to make sure I've eaten. And I could
Mhm.
even, you might not have an appetite, but you know you need some nutrient rich foods. So maybe I'm going to grab actually a watermelon. A watermelon is a nutrient rich food. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So maybe I'm going to grab watermelon. Maybe I'm going to grab something else that can support me to give me energy. Maybe I'm going to get trail mix, right? Because
Mhm. Mhm.
we need that substance.
Right.
Okay. And then maybe I'm going to fill up my water bottle and I'm going to hold
Mhm.
on to my water bottle because we need water. Right.
Right.
And I'm going to do that before I get into the car. Hey, maybe I'm going to use the restroom. You hear me not rushing.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah.
does not mean that I'm not wanting to get to my son. It
Mhm.
means that I cannot be there for my son be fully there if my stomach's growling and now I'm getting a headache because I'm dehydrated and I'm hungry, right?
Mhm.
Because I did not take that one moment to do those things first so that I could be fully present, mind, body, and spirit, to then have the energy to pray over my son.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
the example. Taking time out. We cannot, you hear this all the time. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And what I have been challenging people is I don't want to even get empty. We
Mhm.
have to stop thinking that empty is an option.
Right.
I want to give from my overflowing cup. My
Mhm.
cup, my cup. I'm
Mhm.
holding up a cup, right? My cup,
Yeah.
this is all for me,
Right.
meaning the way in which I see life, how I'm trying to navigate life, the challenges that I have. This is the Sherry cup.
Okay.
Everything else that comes out of it, that extra, that overflow is for everyone else.
Okay. Okay.
Do you see
Okay.
what
I
I
got
mean?
you. Mhm. Mhm.
Now you had another question.
Okay. So I am going to say this. I asked that
You said,
question. I asked that question because my oldest daughter is should be 29 in 2 weeks. My mother, my grandmother that raised me, passed away the same year she was born. So she passed away in November. My daughter was born in September.
hmm,
I did not grieve.
mm, mm-hmm,
My father, biological father, passed away in 2004. I cried at the hospital. Nope, I didn't even get to go to the hospital. I cried at the funeral, but I took care of my sister instead of taking care of myself. So
which
part
was your coping mechanism. That was the
I
coping
have
mechanism.
I have not grieved in 29 years for my mom.
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm,
you said,
mm-hmm,
there be times where I will hear a song,
mm-hmm,
I will see a picture,
mm-hmm.
or see something that reminds me, and I will tear up. But I
Mhm.
do what you said. I push it back down because
Yep. Yep.
I have to do this thing, or
That's
I
right.
don't want nobody to see me in
That's
this
right.
state.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So,
Yep.
so I get what you're saying, and
Mhm.
thank you for making me understanding that grieving is something that we need to do. Lynette, if you're listening, grieving is something that we need to do, which is my other,
Mhm.
she's over the road truck driver.
Mhm.
Grieving is something that we, because you said grieving is healthy.
It
It's
is, and the body needs to do it.
mm,
It's not only the mind.
mhm,
It's quite literally your body needs to go through it. When emotions come up, you see a picture, you hear a song, every year your daughter turns a age, right?
mhm.
Naturally, you're going to think of your mom.
Yeah.
So your body is going to operate in that. Let the body do it. Because what happens is, this is, I'm not saying for you, what happens is we're just stuffing, and we're stuffing into a door, or we're stuffing under the rug. And then one day something ignites, and now the rug is overflowing. Or the better analogy is, now the door bursts open, and now
Mhm.
all of those years are coming out.
Mhm.
That's what
Mhm.
we don't want.
Okay.
It has to release some way, somehow, and it's going to. That's the beautiful, that's why we're so beautifully created.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the information, the what we receive
Mhm.
processes in the body,
Mhm.
through the mind and the emotions, and then we release it.
Mhm. Mhm.
A hard thing, a difficult thing, a loss, a major loss happened. Your mind and body saw it, received it, and now you're holding on to it
Mm.
because you think, no, I don't believe you think. I do believe that's programmed in us. Whoever
Okay.
taught, when was you at home and your family said, oh, sister so and so passed away from the church and they were our cousin, and you just saw them like keep going. Nobody said, now we have to grieve whatever comes up. We need to make sure we allow it to come up and process it. No, we keep
Mhm.
going.
Mhm.
We keep going. But the body
Mhm.
is like, wait, wait, wait. That was a connection. That was an attachment. I physiologically, right,
Yeah.
experienced something in the body. So honor
Yeah.
it. And also, let me be clear, grieving doesn't look like I've been weeping and crying for hours and hours. We
Mhm.
all have different ways of grieving. Sometimes
Mhm.
we see something and we start cracking up. Why are we cracking up? Let me tell you. Let me share. This year, my finance manager for my company, who was
Mhm.
my aunt,
Okay.
the aunt that, like, you like have an aunt that's like your aunt, like that's auntie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
She passed.
Oh.
Okay, at
Okay.
the beginning,
Mhm.
she passed. Now that I have allowed myself to grieve, and I did the crying and all of that stuff, because it was a and
A
also that's my way
loss.
of crying. My
Mhm.
way of crying. That's my way of releasing. When
Okay.
I experience anything, I release my tears. But now when I think about like her, I actually think about a funny story that she's told me. And now I
Mhm.
don't cry. I crack up laughing. Right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
that, but that's me grieving. Not,
Okay.
no, 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 I can't think about her because I don't want the discomfort. No, it's like, no, let me bring that in. Let me sit
Mhm.
down and let me really think about the funny story and how she was
Right.
sitting when she told me it and how hilarious she thought it was. That's still me
Right.
grieving because
Right.
I've created space for my body to do what it needs to do. We we
Mm.
have to allow ourselves we have to allow ourselves to do what the body needs to do, which is so
Mhm.
healthy and so normal. Because when we don't, it's going to do it in other ways. So my
Exactly.
coping mechanism, right? If you don't grieve, we start
Mhm.
increasing our alcohol intake. We
Mm.
start we start taking that cigarette and smoking a little bit more. because it's settling the body. No, it's just making the body feel good for that moment to get me out of that discomfort. But now what is it doing to my body? Impacting my
Mhm.
liver, impacting my lungs, creating a space where I can now become addicted. So now I didn't grieve this, but I've coped and I've put a band-aid on it, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
now something else, we're gonna have loss. We had look, listen, maybe you all are listening out there and you've never lost a human being. I guarantee you experienced loss when we went through COVID
Oh, we sure did.
because you lost autonomy. You lost your
Mhm.
ability to go to work. You change was
Mhm.
happening. You had no control over it. That's
Mhm.
loss,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We have to figure out better and healthier ways for us to cope. And each individual is different. One
Mhm.
way that you cope will be helpful for you. It might not be helpful to your sister. It might not
Others.
be helpful to,
Mhm.
right? But when we share, when we speak and share how we're coping, it can ignite someone to think about, oh, I wonder what would help me cope. If
Mhm.
we just talk about that,
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with being, it has nothing to do with your strength. Being vulnerable, being, allowing yourself to grieve, allowing your body to do what it needs to be is strength because it
Mhm.
goes against the outside culture, right?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
stuffing it and all those other things. It's so appropriate. It's so healthy.
Mhm.
Here's what I tell people, and I hope this can resonate. When when people are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm about to start crying, so let me change the topic or I'm not going to cry." I ask, "Do you say that when you have to go pee?" And people look at
Come
me like,
on.
What you say?" When you have to use the restroom, using the restroom is a release. Crying is a release. Expressing yourself is a release, right? All of those things are a release. Let the body do what it needs to do. Now, let me also, here's the important part. Here's the other important part. Make sure you're in spaces, and this is where people run into challenges. Make sure you're in spaces that honor you.
Mm.
Sometimes, not every time. I gave the example of work. You're in corporate America, you're a black or brown person. Unfortunately, culture wise, you're not supposed to be crying.
At all.
So
Mm-mm.
do not, let me be clear, take yourself to the bathroom, protect yourself, take yourself to the bathroom, readjust, do what you need to do. Same thing with family and friends. There are some family and friends that just don't get it. And that's okay. They
Mhm.
don't have to. They're not ready to get it yet. But please don't be like, oh, I'm about to be vulnerable in this space now because you're going to be pissed off that they
Mhm.
did not honor, right? They didn't
What you're going
honor
through.
exactly. So
So
please hear me, you
protection.
all. Yeah, protection and those boundaries. Be mindful. Be very, that's
Mhm.
that mindfulness. Be mindful. Like, wait a minute. You know what? Sometimes I'll be hearing you be talking about people crying. So I'm not going to cry in front of you right now until your language, until I
Mhm.
hear different,
Right.
right?
Mhm. Cause you have those ones that if you break down and cry, girl, what you crying for? What?
Exactly.
Mm-mm. I ain't got
Exactly.
time.
It's not that
I ain't got
ain't,
time.
that ain't nothing to cry about. Or even now that's a more um when I talk about communication styles, like that's more aggressive or minimizing.
Mhm.
Or people who are uncomfortable with you crying and they want to try to hurry up and fix it. I don't want to be in that space in either. Sometimes
Mhm.
all we need to do is have a physical body, which is empathy, a physical body that gently puts their hand on your shoulder if you're allowed, if you have
Mhm.
welcome touch.
Right.
I love Inside Out, the first one and the second one, but Inside Out,
Mhm.
sadness just touches Bing Bong. Bing Bong is upset, he's crying, he's like, you could tell that there's something there. All sadness does is this, touches him and validates that it's sad. And he
Mhm.
released candy, right, which were tears, but
Mhm.
that is what we need more of. A space where we can just honor what the body is already going through.
Mm.
We
Okay.
have to create more space for that. We deserve that.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of our vessel that we've been gifted.
Mhm. Mhm. Ooh. Now I do want to ask you a question. So we have been I've you've been touching on it a little bit. Can
Oh,
you touch on those 8 stages that you've been speaking about?
yes, I can because I love them. The first one is, well, they're not in any order. So they're the 8 dimensions of wellness.
Mhm,
And I like to start off with financial wellness. And the way in which I use the 8 dimensions of wellness is, what is your relationship with this thing? Everything is based on relationships, right?
mhm,
If I am
mhm,
struggling with a relationship with my partner, I can guarantee I'm struggling with a relationship with me. I can guarantee I'm struggling with the relationship with all these 8 dimensions. So, financial wellness, what's your relationship with your finances? How do you see money? And then I ask, like, who taught you about money and how did they teach you? Did you learn directly or indirectly? Financial wellness, intellectual wellness. What is stimulating your mind? What is adding value? What is opening your mind up to new possibilities? How are you being, I like the word unlocked, right? How are you
mhm, mhm.
retaining knowledge and then applying it? Intelligence. Okay. Occupational wellness. Now,
Oh,
I have combine my career to do mental health and career counseling, career development. And because they go hand in hand, especially in the US, because we operate out of, what do you do for a living? Um, and so, which puts us in a box. So I love occupational wellness. What is your relationship with your business, your company that you work for, right? What is the relationship with your own career goals? Whatever that
mhm,
means. Maybe you're a person that likes to stay at one job, you stay there, you get your retirement, you're good to go. Beautiful. Do you
mhm,
have that? Right.
mhm,
Or
mhm,
maybe you're at a place where you don't and you really want to do this entrepreneurial thing, right? So what's the
mhm.
relationship there?
Right.
Okay. Physical wellness, and within physical wellness includes that nutritional wellness. What is your relationship with your body? Do you stretch every day? Do you, if you don't stretch every day, well, no, I'm believing everybody stretches every day. Uh, are you working out? Right? What
Mhm,
are you doing
mhm,
to keep your body mobile? What do
mhm,
you do to keep your body engaged, right? And nutrition, what are you eating? What are the foods that you're feeding your body? How does it support your body, right? Like, what is that relationship? Who taught you about eating? Okay. Listen,
mhm.
when I got pictures of me holding fried chicken at a very early age. Okay. I enjoy food. I am a foodie.
Yes.
Okay, but I was identifying as that, which was causing,
Mhm,
challenges with my body. Okay.
mhm, mhm.
Spiritual wellness. What is your relationship,
Mm,
right? What is the relationship with whomever you praise, worship, right? Or if you don't, yourself. When I'm working with
mhm,
clients, I work with everybody. And so if they say, I don't believe, I don't have a higher being, okay, cool. But you got your own spirit, right? And I often
mhm,
people are like, well, what does that mean? You know how when somebody passes away, you still remember the way they made you feel. There's a quote about that. That's their spirit.
mhm,
So how are
mm.
you in relationship with your spirit, right? Do you suppress your spirit? Do you let your spirit thrive? Okay. All right.
Ooh-wee.
So so then we have environmental wellness. Now the Shore Vic,
Mm,
and actually the theorist behind 8 dimensions of wellness, specifically Shorebeck, she talks about the environmental wellness,
mhm,
like sustainability, green, right? What are the things that you use that are more sustainable that help the earth? I
mhm,
appreciate that and value that as well. And that's more so of a question that I ask people, because some people just that's not what they're into, and
mhm,
don't have the resources to get into it. I
mhm,
say, what's the home that you keep? What does your home look like? Because if your
mm,
home is busy and chaotic, so is your mind. So is your mind. Remember how when you clean up something and all of a sudden you feel like, oh my gosh, you feel a weight lifted off your shoulder? That's your
mhm,
environmental wellness. That's your
mm,
environmental wellness. Social wellness is the next. The
mhm,
relationship you have with others and the relationship that they have with you. What is that like? Do you
mm,
have toxic people in your life more
mhm,
than healthy? We got to figure that out, right? And then the
mhm.
last one, what number am I on? Listen to me.
This will be the eighth one, the last one.
That's
Yep.
this will be the last one. Now what haven't I said? Listen to
You
me.
said you
I
said
said,
financial. I wrote it
yep.
all down.
Yo, listen.
Financial,
Mm-hmm.
intellectual,
Mm-hmm.
occupational,
Mm-hmm.
physical,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
environmental, and
Mm-hmm.
social.
And oh my goodness, listen to me, y'all. I done already, what's the last one? Now that isn't that something else? Oh, wait, this is funny. The last one is mental emotional. The last one is emotional, and I typically incorporate emotional is that mental emotional piece, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the like what's your thought process? How do you have your how how are your thoughts? Are your thoughts unhealthy and hurtful, harsh,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or your thoughts more mindful? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you intentional in the words that you use, right? Because words
Mm-hmm.
have meaning. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
that mental emotional. Are you checking in with your emotions? What's the relationship with your emotions? And so
Mm-hmm.
those are the 8 dimensions. I love it. It really integrates the whole person.
Mm-hmm.
And as I continue doing more and more research on it, the more and more and more, I'm seeing the theorists behind it. And the theorist behind it has talked about that individual self. So when we think about that kind of example that you gave, I do for everybody else, we're
Mm-hmm.
pretty programmed to do that. We're programmed to do
Right.
for everybody else because our self, the theorist believed that we have this individual, this invisible self. The eight
Right.
dimensions of wellness forces you to see yourself in all dimensions so that you can take
Mm.
care of yourself.
See, okay, so I'm finna bring this up now. You have a journal out, right?
I do.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your journal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share it with the people so they can see it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know
You're
what?
welcome.
Listen, friend, okay, listen. That was so vulnerable. That was like, first of all, I believe that being an entrepreneur is vulnerable because there's so many risks in it.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
one though, that journal, means so much to me.
Mhm.
It meant and means. And when I say meant, like producing it meant so much to me
Okay.
because it is what I believe. I believe when we begin to ask ourselves questions and we prioritize ourselves first,
Mhm.
and then we meditate on how we've reflected, change happens.
Mhm.
Change happens. So to me, it was vulnerable. I was like, when I launched it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's out there. How are people going to receive
Mhm.
it? But the reality is the people who want to develop themselves, want to have more self-reflective moments, want to um, stop being afraid of themselves,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
This journal is an opportunity for you to sit with yourself, reflect. The questions are soft, but the
Mhm.
questions are asking you to really think about your thoughts. And I love it too because I have like 100-day boxes for
Mhm.
you to affirm yourself. What you say to yourself matters. And oftentimes we are saying things that are hurtful when we can use that same energy to say things that are helpful and affirm. And for
Mhm.
those who also are believers, I have scriptures at the bottom. For those who, do not align with scriptures, that's okay. They're scriptures that just add value, add substance, add additional oomph to the
Mhm.
questions. But they're at the bottom. I believe it's for everyone, but um, I just I believe if we reflect more, we
Mhm.
can really have an optimal life. And that's what
Yeah.
the journal, the focus is just inviting folks to reflect more. Answer those questions. Be
Mm.
honest and real with yourself.
So this is her journal, you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and share that. If y'all can see that, it is called Mindful Journey. It's called Mindful Journey, a faith-filled journal incorporated with mental wellness and faith and meditation. So y'all,
Yes.
her journal is on Amazon.
Yes, it
So
is.
make sure y'all go ahead and support. I know most definitely I'm going. I see it right here, the paperback.
Mm.
Y'all see I got it right here. I'm going to get mine. So look, I'm already ready. So the paperback is $20 now. Is this available like on Kindle or something like that, or is it
You
just
know
strictly
what?
paperback?
It's gonna be available on Kindle. It's gonna be available where it needs to be available. And it also needs to be an ebook.
Okay.
My first was just to get it out there, and I was new to this, right? So for
Mhm.
those that are out there that are you have an idea and you want
Mhm.
to see it come to fruition, do it.
Mhm.
First, 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 if you haven't done this yet, just believe in yourself. Believe in
Mhm.
yourself. I My goal in launching it, I had to really sit down and focus. If not one person bought the book, would I still be proud of what I created, what I manifested, what I birthed, and I absolutely, absolutely,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I believe in it. And here's what's beautiful: when you believe in something,
Mhm.
the fruits of your labor, you will see
Yep.
it become fruitful. So believe in yourself, you all, and create it, develop it. We are creative creatures. When we get space enough to be vulnerable, we are
Mhm.
truly creative. So for those that are out there that you have something that you want to see, right, in your
Mhm.
hands or whatever it is you want to develop, go for it. Live,
Yes.
live fully live.
Okay, so those that are listening and for those that are watching, we still have a few minutes left. I know we went over my hour, but this is my show. I do what I want to do.
That's right.
We have a few minutes left, so if y'all have any questions, we are live. If y'all have any
Mhm.
questions, please drop them in the comments. We are on YouTube live. If not, you guys can send me a personal and Facebook. I will get them to her. She can answer them. You guys, if you have questions while she here, she can answer them live. So make sure you send your questions in. Like I said, we
Yes.
have a few minutes left, so make sure you send your questions in. Now, I
Yeah.
want to ask you something. And I meant to ask you at the beginning of
Mhm.
this, but we just got into serious conversation. What made you choose this career for your life?
So it's two parts to this. The first part is what I knew when I started, and then the second part
Mhm.
is what I the understanding of how I got here, right? Like,
Mhm.
so when we think about like how do we get when you're first going down that path, you don't know. You know what you know. But then when you
Mhm.
get in it and you start reflecting, you like, "Oh, that's what it is." So let me answer it in two ways. The first is I was going to be a pediatrician.
Okay.
I went to school to be. I love my pediatrician. He was the family pediatrician, Dr. Runner, and he knew everybody in my family. And he was so nice to me and made me feel comfortable. I was gonna be like him. So I went to school to be a pediatrician, right? My young
Mhm.
age.
Mhm.
And then when I got into the field, so then the grades told me otherwise. Like, nah, girl, you're not gonna be no pediatrician because your grades is not are they're not grading. Okay, I don't have
Right.
any good
Mhm.
grades. All right.
Mhm.
And so my cousin was living in Bolingbrook, and she told me about this university. They have, like kind of like mental health. Go for it.
Mhm.
Love the program. Went into it. Now,
Mhm.
what really what it is? What was revealed to me? Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, at 14, um, it's an imprint. We have major imprints in our lives. That's what I like to call them, moments in our lives that leave an imprint. I don't like to say
Mhm.
leave a scar, but leave an imprint.
Mhm.
And what I recognize is, and this is why mental health and career are so important to me, why I fuse those. My
Mhm.
mom, single Black mom, um, powerhouse, not showing all of her emotions, right? That's the generation, not showing all the emotions.
Mhm.
Worked in IT,
Mhm.
um, oftentimes the only Black person on the floor, right? On the
Mhm.
whole
Mhm.
corporate wing. Okay.
Mhm.
And she's efficient, right? Like,
Okay.
I
Mhm.
wouldn't, sh- she would even say a perfectionist, right?
Mhm.
So high quality efficiency. Okay. At 14, she comes home from work and she is crying. Now that's major, right?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen that. I've seen her cry when she's sad about a loss of the family or,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like losing people, but you're crying because of work. And so
Mhm.
what I end up finding out, is that company used her as a lesson. They selected
Mm.
the person that you would think, oh, it was a scare tactic. right? Like we're going to fire the person that does the work and is effective and efficient at the work. We're going to fire her. We're going to walk her out so people know to be afraid. That
Wow.
to me is what has and continue to fuel why I'm so passionate when I'm in spaces with my clients and when I'm going to
Mhm.
speak, because what they don't understand they did, they of course now gratefully, right, like my mom got another job later, but
Mhm.
that showed me that this space, this entity, this world of work that we work in
Mhm.
and we have to operate in has the ability to dehumanize,
Mhm.
right? Has
Mhm.
the ability to use people as an example and not even
Mhm.
think about who she has to come home to. No,
Mm.
no remorse. If she believed in therapy, wow, if she could have had a space that could support her in that.
Mhm. Mhm.
How do you not take that personally? How do
Mhm.
you not? I'm doing the work. I
Right.
am in here on time, every time,
Mhm.
producing. But because they had to deliver a message. And how often do I still see this? How often are people impacted by that? Being treated, and maybe it's not that extreme, but
Mhm.
maybe your extreme was you were passed over several times. One time is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to do better. But so that to me, and to me that broke, of course it broke my heart, right? I've
Yeah.
never seen her
Yeah.
like this. And then to finally know what actually happened, right? That angered me. So
Mhm.
for me, mental health is, and the way in which my team, we're walking alongside you. You
Mhm.
have this support system in this therapeutic space, and you are going to be loved on in a way of supported, giving resources. We're going to be intentional, and that's the culture that I've built. And when people know and receive services, they know they have someone on their side to
Right.
validate, to acknowledge, and support them during the hardest times and during all the joyous times. The other piece is, mm, I believe that my saying is healthy staff, healthy clients. So if my
Mhm.
staff are taken care of, not when my staff are taken care of, then I know that they can be healthy for the clients. So I create space where
Mhm.
my staff are taking care of themselves, right? Because
Right.
it is important for for staff to be seen, to be valued, and know that what you do is important, but also you are important.
Mhm.
You are
Mhm.
important. You spend most of your time, right,
Mhm.
working,
Mhm.
doing all the things to care for your clients. Um,
Mhm.
and so that's what led me here. It's my mom. It's her journey, it's her story. And
Mhm.
I refuse to be a business owner that my mission is to make sure that people are supported, both from staff and for clients. I want to
Mhm.
change the ecosystem. And I want people to know when I'm speaking, I want you to know that, and let me say this, if you are in corporate, I still want you to understand how to set your boundaries, how to protect yourself. I do not want you to think that this job is your lifeline. See, we think these jobs are our lifeline. And so we have to
Mhm.
endure so much. Yes,
Right.
you have to work to get paid, but let's work on making sure you're on stable ground using
Mhm.
this vessel, this body to endure the punches. We
Mhm.
can do that
Mhm.
because your value, maybe some people, they say, hey, I value this stable every week or every 2 weeks job. I value health insurance. That's great. Let's still work together to figure out how you can make sure that you're separate. Your identity is not wrapped up in this company.
Mm. That's important. Yes, ma'am.
Sustainability, sustainability. So
Mhm.
that if and when you're passed over for that
Mhm.
promotion that you know you deserve, it doesn't wipe you out. It doesn't
Yeah.
take you out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
important. That's
Yeah.
important.
Y'all
So,
look.
my
Let
mama,
me
oh, go ahead,
let
baby.
your your mom. Hey, mama. I hope you watching. Hey, mama. How you doing? Thank you for letting us talk to your daughter today. I told you she's my good girlfriend. My good girlfriend.
That's right.
So we have touched on a lot, and I know we really didn't get into like the meat and potatoes of your bio, but what we got into is we're gonna have a part two because I know
Ooh.
people has to hear what you have to say.
Mm,
But there was a question that came through. We know you do have an office in Chicago
mhm. We're
and you
yep,
have an office in Texas.
you
Are
know
any
what? That's
one of the
coming. That's coming. It's
Oh, I
not
just
set
spoke
up yet.
some.
You did. You
I
did.
just spoke some. Okay.
It's gonna be, yep, because we going nationwide. Okay,
I know that's
nationwide.
right. It's
HDC
on
is
your
on
side.
your side.
Yes,
we,
ma'am.
we doing that. But I digress. What's the question? I jump all over the place.
So, is your office in Chicago accepting new patients?
Oh, we are. Yep. Clients, those that are out there that are interested in services. If you are
Hmm.
in Illinois, we are accepting new clients. I have a
Okay.
dynamic team. And hey, in transparency, I'm biased because I did the work to create the personnel, right? Like find those people intentionally. So I
Hmm.
am biased, but we do, and our stats show that we do great work as well. So let me also say that. But
Hmm.
they're accepting clients, and we work with individuals that are, if you need more clinical language, for those that want to hear the clinical language, depression, anxiety, self-esteem, self-love, any impacts that you've experienced, trauma, or what you perceive as trauma. We work from a trauma lens. What that means is we understand that trauma breeds the behaviors, right? Like if something has happened to me, I know I'm going to behave right. Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
we support people who have relationship challenges, self or with other people. We support couples, individuals. We support the LGBTQ plus populations. We work with all clients and all challenges.
Hmm.
And when and what's helpful is those who, well, I hope this is helpful to say, those who just know that they want a different life, reach out to
Hmm.
us.
Okay.
Because we're virtual, I will say this, because we're virtual, we won't take anyone under the age of 8, just because the virtual platform, you really need someone to be physically in that space
Right.
together. But
Right.
I also will say, keep an eye out on us, right? Holistically Mind Counseling, because God is moving, right? And so the goal eventually will be a physical space. And we had one, and then COVID was like, nah, sis.
Oh wow. See that lawsuit talked about that law.
So
See.
we had to that loss, right? Yep. So we had
Hmm.
to pivot. And so we just haven't returned back to the space. But yeah, we're definitely accepting clients. And if you're not ready yet, ready just means like if you're not ready to take that
Hmm.
start, just follow
Hmm.
us on social media, holistically
Hmm.
divine org. You can find us on Instagram. Look at some of our
Hmm.
content that could support you if you need.
Okay. So if people wanted to reach you and they wanted for you to come out for speaking engagements, how can they find you? And then let us know if you got something coming up. We will love to support you in any way we possibly can.
Ooh, so the first question is you can reach me at info, at sherryswick.com. So
Mm-hmm.
info at sherryswick.com. And you can email me if you want to reach me on social media, holistically divine org. You can reach me on LinkedIn, type in my first, middle, initial, last name. And then actually, if I can share this, I would like
Mm-hmm.
to share.
Yeah.
Um,
If you want to
you
share
know,
your screen. You
I
can
can
share your
send it
screen if
out.
you need something. Yeah.
You know what? I actually will. I'll probably send it to you. I just want to get I'm excited because in November, the
Okay.
Battlefield Conference will
Mm.
occur. It's November 15th through the 16th. It'll be in Pilsen, Chicago, Illinois. And it's going to be full. Okay, so the Battlefield Conference 2024.
Mm.
You want to think of the full armor, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual. And I will be speaking on that Saturday. But when we get more details on the actual address, we'll let you all know. But that is the Battlefield Conference 2024. It was dynamic last year. It's going to be dynamic this year. Friday and Saturday, November 15th through the 16th.
You gonna make
And
me come back home because I'm
come on
already
home.
coming and
Come
said,
on,
look, I'm
come
already
home.
coming. I'll be there in 2 weeks. So you gonna make
Come,
me come
come,
back in November.
come on home. And I do believe that the person that is over the Battlefield Conference, Dr. Blair,
Mm.
she built this. I believe that would be a great connection. I'm just saying, but it's dynamic. It's for we are helping people, and this is what I love. We are helping people understand how important the mental, emotional, right, spiritual, mind, body, spiritual, but then we're going deeper.
Mm.
You go there and then you leave changed.
Mm-hmm.
You go there and then you know that there's going to change. And let's be clear, change does not have to be this big O and I have this massive testimony and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
change
Mm-hmm.
mental like, oh, I commit to just getting up in the morning and giving gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big change. It's a
Yeah.
little right. It's a little change, but it's really big.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
we're changing the brain. The brain is used to negative, and if we don't rewire it, which is neuroplasticity, if we do not rewire that brain, it's gonna stay negative.
Mm. See, look. Now I gotta go ahead and try to do some finance. So see, look at that. I got a
Friend, come
plan.
on, friend. Come on, friend.
I gotta go ahead and replan. Look at that. See, okay.
Listen, pivot gently. Now, if for those that are thinking about pivoting gently to go to Chicago, Illinois on the 15th or 16th, you want to just think about like, how can this add value? I want to go there intentionally knowing that I am going to get something out of it. And how do you know you're going to get something out of it? You're going to make the decision to show up. Listen, also, do not change around your schedule that will cause stress. When we
Mm.
force something, we're trying to knock on a door that's closed. That door is not closed right now.
Now, is it virtual? Will it be virtual? Do you know?
Not this year. Not this year.
Okay.
Not this
Okay.
year. It will be, yep, we'll be in Chicago. We'll be in person, but I'll keep if for those that I'll keep everybody updated still.
Yeah.
Make
Please keep me updated. Cause look, I got some
I
wheels
sure
turning.
will. I see him turning. That's why I'm like, don't force it, right? Because one of the
Hmm.
things that I know, and even the conference talked about this last year, like what is for you, we talk about that, but truly what God has for you, it's going to
It's
come
for
at the
you.
right season, right? For you. So if we feel like we're trying to bang down, oh, I'm going, let me figure out if I can make my finances look the way I want it to look. No, 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 no. When things come natural and organic to you, that means that yep, go ahead, right? Because that's the path. But if you have to do flips, splits, turns over, doing, mm-mm,
It wasn't meant for you to do it.
not right now. Here's the key. Not
Hmm.
right now.
Hmm. Look, we're gonna have to talk about getting you to New York with us next year in June.
What for the power of
The
self?
power of self love
You're going to
retreat.
New York.
Yes.
When is it? Do you have
June
dates?
26th through the 28th. So that
Mm,
Thursday, Friday, and that Saturday.
mm. New York is nice in June.
Yeah. So it's more so of the hotel that I chose. It is in New Jersey, but they
Mm,
said it's not too far from New York. I was
Yeah,
told today that it's better, especially doing a retreat. It's
that makes
better to do it in New Jersey because Jersey has like the mountainside and the
sense.
nature part. If we want to do something like
Yeah.
outside or anything like that, Jersey is
Mhm.
more so better for
Yeah,
that than New York.
I get that. I get that. I get that. New York
So yeah,
is stimulating. New Jersey would
yeah,
like calming. So that's cool that
yeah.
folks, if you wanna go to New York to get some of
Hmm.
that stimulation, but if you wanna that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, it came. This is how I know it's pretty much ordained, because when we came home from the retreat, um, I had people, because this year it was people in New York that wanted to come, and it had to be like about 15 or 20 people that wanted to come,
Oh my
but
goodness.
because it was in Chicago, and it was so, for them, when they actually finally found out about it, it was so last minute they couldn't
Right.
come. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, God, so where we going next year? What we gonna do next year?
You
And
rock.
there it is. And it opened up. I have, as I say, my boots on the ground. I have a couple
Mhm.
people out there that's helping me, and that's my eyes
Mhm.
out there. So we
Mhm.
actually going to be, it's called Poseidon. It's something with a P.
Okay.
Pasady. I think it's something like that. It's in New York. We're going to be at the Holiday Inn and Suites. So I
Okay.
got all of the information and all the details and everything like that.
Wow.
I'm excited. I'm excited about
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Everything just came like that, so I'm excited about it.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So we gonna have to look.
Oh, I love when people do this. I love when people do this.
Yeah, we look. We might have to come and bring
Yes.
Miss Sherri to New York. Look at that, so she could be on
This
this
means we're
panel.
thinking. This means we're thinking. I love it.
Yeah, we might have to get Miss Sherri on this panel. I know you listening, Lynette. We might have to get Miss
Oh,
Sherri on
hey,
this
Lynette.
panel.
Hey,
Yeah,
Lynette.
that
Uh,
is my sister. She is on. She is my silent business partner. Her
mm,
and my brother-in-law, for Inspiration 98.7. I truly do cherish them, because every time I say, "Oh, I'm gonna do something," they go, "Okay, what you need for me to do? Which way
mm,
we going?"
I
So
love that.
I love my
You have
sister
to
and my
have people.
brother.
Yes,
Hmm.
they're rocks. They're
Yeah,
stable. They
yeah.
get you. They see you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was on a call with before getting on here. It's
Hmm.
like, yeah, it's
Hmm.
they you know that they value what you're building. And
Yeah.
that means everything.
It does, and I'm so grateful, and it's like, not only are they like my silent partners with the radio station, they're sort of like, not sort of like, they're my board members now for the Power of Self
Mhm.
Love Retreat, because they're
Mhm. It's beautiful.
more hands on.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so she's waving. You said, "Hey, Lynette." She's waving. She sent the wavy hand.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah, we gonna have to talk, Miss Sherry, because we gonna have to get you out there to
I'm
New York
all
with us to
listen,
have fun.
listen,
Yeah, we gotta get you
listen.
out there. I got details and everything, so yeah, we gonna have to talk.
Okay.
So I see that there are no more questions. If questions do come in later, I most definitely will send them in to you. But we are going
Feel
to
free.
have a part 2,
Okay.
because there are like so many questions that I wanted to touch on. I wanted to talk on like mental health issues when your body's going wrong.
Mhm. Yep, because our bodies do that. Mhm.
Our
Especially if you got a lot
bodies,
of stress.
I
That inflammation.
see our bodies turn on us all the time, especially when you're going
Nope.
through those
Nope.
challenges.
Our bodies no, see, wait a minute. Our body was talking to us,
Hmm.
but then we stopped listening. We
Okay.
stopped listening.
Okay.
I'll say it for myself, okay? When
Okay.
my body when I'm stiff in the morning and my body is like a cardboard, like
Mhm.
a brick, and all I have
Mhm.
to do is stretch my body to loosen it up because my body can't stretch.
Mhm.
But then I never did that. And then all I did went down to do was clean my bathtub and it
Mhm.
locked up on me. That was my fault. I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't go up the
Mhm.
stairs to kiss my son and pray over him goodnight. That was on me. Now we're not blaming, but our
Mhm.
body communicates to us. We
Mm.
don't take the time. And let me also say we are not trained to focus on our body. Let's be real. I never, ever, 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 ever am I ever in the blaming game because I always believe that the knowledge just was not passed down. And there are
Mhm.
reasons why knowledge was not passed down, but that's a different
Mhm.
show.
See, that's what. See, y'all hear it.
Okay?
Part two. We coming
That's
back. Part two. We
that might
coming
be
back.
part 4, but I'm not gonna put myself out there like that, okay? I want to be mindful of
Yeah.
invitations. But
Yeah.
really, right, there's a lot of things that have been excluded from us on
Mhm.
purpose. There are a lot of things that have been excluded for us, and there are things that we don't know. But our body has always talked to us.
Girl,
Our
you know you
body.
welcome. Look, you family. You know you welcome. Come back. Look, look. I got something to talk about, Shonda. So when let me on here.
Listen. Okay, I do. I'm gonna say it just like that.
That's all you gotta say. You can inbox
Yes,
me, call me, text me, say, "Girl,
yes,
I got something to say. When can I come
yep,
on this station?" And
yep,
I'm gonna say,
yep.
"Girl, when you ready? When you ready?"
We have to. We are in a season, an age, an era where we have access to things now. And
Mhm.
I'm not even talking about you don't have to pay for it. We have access to things. Now it's to be empowered enough, and you only need a little bit to
Mhm.
make that change for ourselves. So when I know my body
Mhm.
is talking to me in the morning now, I'm going to stretch because I know my body needs it, right? Because I've been sleeping for hours, not
Mhm.
really moving, or maybe moving in one spot and staying there. Your body's going to lock up. Stretch in the morning, you all.
Mhm.
Stretch in the morning. Stretch can
Mhm.
be touching your toes. Stretch can be laying down and right extending your arms gently. 3
Mhm.
minutes.
Mhm.
I'm not asking
Mhm.
folks to add a whole bunch. We all busy.
Mhm.
3 minutes will make a difference every single day. Okay, I'm
You
a
see, you know what? Yep. So let me look at this calendar and see when part two gonna come. Cause look, I
yeah.
I
Ooh.
want to.
Let's surprise them with part 2. Let's
Yes, yeah, we gonna
let's
surprise
surprise.
them because look, we need to talk about this anxiety that your sister right here is going through right now. So
Oh, yeah, we do need to talk about. I got some homework for you today. I need you to go watch Inside Out too if you wanna hang out with
eh,
anxiety.
you
Take your
said hang
grandbaby.
out with her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
like to separate things. I'm really big on um like anxiety is hanging out with me. I am
Mhm.
not this ball of anxiety. I feel anxiety,
Mhm.
but you still my friend. Like you still my family,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? And anxiety is hanging around with you. Do you see how we're separating it? I'm
Mhm.
experiencing anxiety. I'm experiencing anxiousness right now. It hits different when we say it. So those that are listening, if you know you're experiencing anxiety and you've been saying, I have anxiety, and let me be clear. If this doesn't work for you, don't do it. But I like to separate that thing that's causing the stress because
Mhm.
you're not doing it on purpose. Anxiety is communicating something new. There's something there that needs to be tackled, worked on, worked through. Okay, I'm done.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. See, that's why I said, see,
Yeah,
we gonna
yeah,
get these folks to part two
okay.
because
Yeah.
you all up in my
I can't.
stuff.
Oh, 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 oh. Well,
You all up in my stuff. So
we
yeah,
better
we
close out then, because look, we better close out then, because
and look, y'all, so
I'm gonna organize my space right now.
so look, y'all, we truly appreciate, y'all joining us today. Y'all already hear it. It's gonna be a part two because y'all see she done already got up in my business. And I ain't gonna prolong this because look, we could go all I told y'all, me and my good girlfriend, we can go all night long because that's all this was just a conversation. So we gonna come back with a part two. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
hold her long because I know she have her baby and she got other things she need to put her hands on. So See, I was listening. See? So yeah, so Miss Sherry, I truly appreciate you coming on Inspire Talk. You will be back soon, it's sooner than later. So you will most definitely be back. And like I said, do family now. Anytime you got something you want to say, you can reach out to me and say, "Hey, I got something to say. What's available?" I got you. Just
Mhm.
let me know. So you family. So just let me know. So I truly appreciate you. And yeah, part two is in the
It's in
works.
return. I appreciate you, and we didn't share, like, how we connected, but I wanna say I thank you that you are allowing God to utilize you to inspire, to
Mhm.
educate, to lift up, to transform, and I thank you for
Mhm.
allowing me in this space, right? This is what you've built. You saw something or felt something
Mhm.
that would support, the community, your community that you're serving. And so I thank you. And as I give and share, I hope that you take to implement so that you can continue on. We don't need you
Yes,
to burn
ma'am.
out. We don't need you to lose that fire that's igniting in you and operating out of you and
Mhm.
exuding out of you. We need you to
Mhm.
continue. So I thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Like I said, look, y'all watch out. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if, look, come January, y'all see Sherri Wick on Inspiration 98.7 on Tuesdays.
You know what? What's she doing here? Okay, what's your close? Y'all bye y'all. Y'all be well, y'all be blessed, y'all take care of yourselves. I hope she over here. Y'all listen.
Okay, so I'm gonna close out because look, she done already did the close, and we thank y'all. We love y'all for being here, a part of Inspired Talk. I am Shonda or Alicia. Y'all know how we do this. So, upcoming events for Inspiration 98.7. Next week, we are talking to, hold on, I want to get this correct. We are having a show. It's called, oh, wait. Not oh, that ain't the name of the show. There it is. It's facing the issues of autism. We will be talking
Mhm.
to the founders of Autism Comedy. So they have a show that's coming out next Saturday. You guys, I will have all of that information so you can get your tickets. The show is a special show on Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on Inspiration 98.7 YouTube, also live on Inspiration 98.7 Radio. Then join us again here on the regular time Inspire Talk, where we will be talking with gospel comedian Miss Monique. She will be here. She will be lighting up the stage with some jokes about God, and we're just gonna enjoy her and just enjoying that. And then we have more stuff coming up, but I'll let you know as that come in as the month go by. But we are back. Inspire Talk is back. We had to take that break for the retreat, but we are back. Make sure you guys let me put this up because I don't want you guys to forget. We are in that time of seasoning to where it is time for our Christmas give back.
Mm.
We are in the point where we are looking for people. Let me pull this on up here. So let me see. Let me share. Let me share. Let me share. Let me share. Share, please. We are looking to bless 5 families. So if you guys can see it, it's loading. I don't know why it's so small, but we are looking to bless 5 families. The deadline is September the 22nd. If you
Mm.
know a family where it be mother, father, kids, where it be single mom, single dad, we are blessing the entire family because we know around the holiday season, everybody always look out for the kids. But
Mm.
what about mom? What
Mm.
about dad?
That's good.
What about Rover?
Mhm.
What about
Yeah.
kitten caboodles? You know,
Mhm.
we bless
Mhm.
the animals as well. So we are
Mhm.
looking to bless 5 families this Christmas season. You have to be in the Atlanta area to actually receive your gifts. Last year we blessed 5 families. One of the families didn't show up, so we ended up blessing other people that came to the event. But
Mm,
we say, please be present so you can receive your blessing. The link is here in the notes. You can find this on my Facebook page. You also is going to be up on Inspiration 98.7 website, so you'll be able to see that there. And you can just click on the link and nominate any family that you want, that you think um will be and deserving of this blessing. You can do 2 nominations. We will allow you to do 2 nominations to nominate 2 family, but no more than two, because we don't want to see nominations from the same people. So we will allow you to
mhm.
do 2 entries for the nomination. But the closing of the nominations will be September the 22nd, because that gives us time to choose the families and then notify the families that they are being blessed before it's time to go through that. So make sure you guys go to my Facebook page. You can go to Inspiration 98.7 Facebook page. You also can go to Inspiration 98.7 website and find this information as well. And that is for this year's we're calling it the Silver and Gold Christmas Charity Sneaker Ball.
Hmm.
It is December the 14th here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Make sure you will see the flyer going around. Tickets are going to be $35. So if you want to be a part and come out and have fun, we're going to have music, we're going to have food, laughter, games.
Mm,
Santa is going to be there, so the kids can take their pictures with Santa. Santa was there last year and the kids enjoyed it. So
of
you
course.
guys, it's a family event, and the great thing is you get to look cute and wear sneakers.
My favorite. My favorite.
You get to look cute and wear sneakers. So you guys make sure you be on the lookout for that. And that's about it, folks. So I'm glad y'all tuned in and hung out with me and my girlfriend, Miss Sherri. Miss Sherri, we don't never leave the show without our guests leaving a inspirational thought for the people. So what would be, to close out this amazing show, what would be your inspirational thought for the people?
Mm. So I typically say, well, my what I typically say is you are more important than you realize. But the
Hmm.
the thought, what I want folks to noodle on is this. And it's actually a question.
Hmm.
It's more so of a question. And the
Let me get
question
my pen.
is, I'm trying to say it so that I don't have to explain it. Are you willing to take a risk and bet on yourself?
Oh, oh, mm.
And I'm gonna leave it there. However that hits for people when you hear that, however it hits.
Ooh, man. And y'all heard it here first, right here on Inspiration 98.7.
She fixing the glass.
If I had a mic, I would drop it. If I had a mic, I would drop it. Are you willing to take a risk and bet on yourself? Y'all heard it here first from Miss Sherri S. Wick, my good girlfriend. Stay tuned
Yes,
because she
ma'am.
will be back for part 2. I love y'all and thank y'all for tuning in to Inspire Talk right here on Inspiration 98.7. Oh, if you missed Princess of Trucking Jams today, please make sure y'all tune in tomorrow to catch the replay at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. She rocked out today. Princess of Trucking honored our falling soldiers. This past week we lost 2 pioneers in the music world. We lost Fat Man Scoop, and then yesterday we lost Rich Homie Quan,
Mm,
senseless death.
mm,
So you guys make sure you take care of your people, love on them, make sure they know
mhm.
that you love them. So Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all, and there's nothing you can do about it. And we will see y'all soon. See you next week. Bye now. Have a good night.